Hello and welcome. I'm Micah, the cosplayer seamstress. Today I will be starting the blouse for the 1940s inspired outfit. But before that, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The materials I will need for this project are white thread, the white satin fabric, interfacing buttons, the pattern with instructions, scissors, both fabric and paper, a handheld needle, and the sewing machine. If you would like to know where I got the pattern, fabric, and buttons, and how much they cost, check out the Patterns and Plans video for the 1940s outfit. The first step is to cut the pattern paper. To figure out which pieces I will need, I will reference the pattern. I will need pieces 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the blouse. Once I have determined which pattern pieces I need, I will cut them out using the paper scissors. Remember to never use fabric scissors on paper. After I cut the pattern paper, I will use those pieces to cut out the fabric. You can use the cutting layouts provided in the pattern, or you can make your own layout as long as you follow the instructions on the paper. For example, if you need to cut something on a fold, you need to remember to cut that on a fold. Or if you need to cut two, make sure to cut two. I'll be creating my own layout as I tend to run out of fabric if I don't. I will also need to remember to cut the notches here as well. I mark my dots with fabric chalk later. Finally, I will need to remember to cut out the interfacing. Next, I will set up the machine. If you are not sure how to make a bobbin match your thread or how to thread the machine or bobbin, check out my sewing machine walkthrough video. I will be using mainly white thread on this part so that it matches the fabric. Try to always match your thread to the fabric unless you are wanting the thread to stand out or if it will not be seen. Now I will begin following the instructions. Please know that I will not always follow the directions, and that is okay. I will be starting with the front of the blouse. First, I will be making the long tucks on the front, which will show on the outside. I will sew this along the lines I marked with a chalk pin earlier, starting in the middle and then doing the outside ones. Then I will press these flat, putting the stitching on the center of these tucks. Then I will sew the top of the blouse at 1/4 inch from the cut edge. This is basically a stay stitch and keeps the fabric from warping or stretching. After that, I will hand baste the tucks on the bottom. This is step 1 of the pattern. Next, I will make shorter tucks on the inside. To do this, I will follow a similar process to the front tucks, sewing them together using the chalk as a guide. There are 2, so I'll need to remember to do it twice. Then I will press these towards the center of the blouse. I will then hand baste across the bottom again. Next, I will make darts by marking where they go with chalk and then sewing along those lines. Again, there are 2, so I do have to do this twice. After that, I will press the darts down towards the bottom of the blouse. This is step 2 on the pattern. Next, I will stay stitch the top of the back pieces. Stay stitching, like I said before, helps the curved edges not stretch or warp while sewing. After that, I will apply the interfacing to the back of this, following the manufacturer's instructions. To do this, I will be pinning the interfacing to the fabric with the textured side down. Then I will steam baste the edges. After that, I will place a damp cloth over all the layers and press with 15-second increments until the interfacing has fused with the fabric. Then, I will turn the outer edge in 1/4 inch and sew this in place, creating a finished edge. This is step 3 on the pattern. Finally, I will make short tucks on the back, following what I did for the front. This is the first part of step 4. Now I will sew the front and the back together at the shoulder seams, remembering to put the right sides together. Then I will sew them together at the side seams, which is the rest of step 4. Next, I will press the back edges of the blouse along the fold line I marked earlier. Then I will sew 5/8 inch from the lower edge of the facing. Next, I will trim the facing close to the stitching, and I will trim the fabric close to the stitching as well. This is step 5. Next, I will turn the facing to the inside. Then I will press up the hem. Finally, I will sew the hem in place, which is step 6. Now I will be working on the collar and sleeves. First, I will press up 3/8 inch on the unmarked side of piece 4, which is the neck binding. This is step 7. Then with right sides together, I will pin the neck binding to the neck edge, making sure to match the center's dots and checking to be sure that the neck binding extends 3/8 inch beyond the edge. This step was very difficult for me, and I had to pin this again and again. After that, I will sew the pieces together with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. It is still not perfect as it still has puckers, but this is the best it will be. All of this is step 8. Next, I will press the binding out, making sure that the seam goes towards the binding. Then I will turn the pressed edge towards the inside, making sure that it just covers the stitching I did. I will then pin this in place. After that, I will top stitch this on the outside, making sure everything is caught on the inside. Again, this step is not perfect on the blouse, but I am happy with what I did. This is step 9. Next, I will hem the sleeves the same way I hem the bottom. This is the beginning of step 10. The final thing I will do for the blouse is put on the buttons. First, I will use the buttonhole guide to mark where the buttons will go. Then I will make the buttonholes where I marked them, making sure that they are on the left side. I did this by hand as I did not have the correct presser foot to do it on the machine. Then I will lap the left over the right and mark where the buttons go on the right side. Finally, I will sew the buttons onto the blouse. This is the rest of step 10. Congratulations, you now have a lovely blouse. Here's what the blouse looks like on me. If you would like to see how I will make the skirt, check back next week.
Now that you have the blouse, you are ready for the skirt. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next project!